Hauntings.
Hello and welcome back to Cryptid Hauntings, the podcast where we ask the important questions like, if something howls outside your house at 2 a.m., do you grab a flashlight? Or do you simply accept that this is no longer your problem?
No, I grab a gun.
I'm Michael Gardner, and I'm with my haunted family, Chris, Pam, and Mark. Tonight we'll be talking about werewolves. Not just the movie version, not just medieval Europe. We're talking about where this creature actually comes from. The rules are eerily consistent across cultures, and sightings didn't stop in the Middle Ages ended. And why, right here in American West, people report encounters with something that looks like a wolf but watches like a man. And by the end of the episode, we're bringing it home to Utah, the Uinta Basin, to a place where people didn't tell those stories for fun. But first, what food would you absolutely fight a raccoon for? We'll start with Mark, the gunman.
A nice, spicy curry. I would fight off your mama for a good curry. Let alone a raccoon.
A raccoon?
I don't know if it's a curry you make, I'd fight off that raccoon.
I personally, China Walk's orange chicken. I love their orange chicken.
It's a bit too orangey for me.
I don't like orange chicken.
I'm more of a General Tso's man.
It's that base of the sweet and sour. Childhood sweet and sour. Just I can't.
No.
Like,
can't.
if it's not like childhood sweet and sour, or if it's too much, like...
No, it's ruined all sweet and sour. And then I think
Sorry,
the orange chicken. Oh, she knows that's one of my foods I don't eat. That and meatloaf. and her stuffed peppers because it's meatloaf and a pepper.
I love stuffed peppers. That's what we had tonight for dinner was stuffed peppers. So yummy.
Destiny just found out I do not like meatloaf, and we've been married for 10 years, and she's just learning this. I'm like, I do not like meatloaf.
I'm going to let this one out. Your older sister doesn't like pot roast, or at least didn't like pot roast until she had her mother-in-law's pot roast, because then she learned that pot roast wasn't dry.
Yeah, your
I guess
mother's
it's
pot roast
been
is
long
pretty
enough
dry.
since I've been out of the house that I forget all of the little nuances of dryness.
Love you, Mom.
We still love you.
So, Chris,
There's other things that I would fight a raccoon for,
Like what?
like what?
like her curry chicken casserole. It's like rice and chicken and cream of mushroom soup, and then like white people curry powder. It's delicious.
It is
really
probably
good.
one
I
of
would
my
fight a
favorite.
raccoon for that. I'd also fight a raccoon for her chicken and stuffing casserole.
No, it's turkey and stuffing.
It's whatever poultry that we had. So sometimes it was chicken, sometimes it was that
Truth.
sweetheart turkey,
Truth.
and then
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff.
stove
Yeah, but all that
Toe
is
top topping.
Top topping.
toe top topping and cream of mushroom soup and the poultry. It's
It
delicious.
is.
We have
So
it on the
good.
regular.
And I
it's
know.
amazing.
I miss it. It's not the same with fake chicken.
I tried to make it for my family and they scoffed.
What?
Like, what is this poor people food? And that's when I knew I spoiled them.
I made it once for my house, but they're vegetarians, and I took one of the chicken patties. And you can't mix it in because it doesn't work.
just
So I
disintegrates.
chopped it up to put it on, or and I've done it again with the chicken nuggets. It's not the same.
That's because it's not real chicken.
I know, and I have
bacon.
to use
No, it's chicken.
it's chicken. It's CHICK apostrophe N. It's chicken.
Chicken, baby.
But I also have to make my own stuffing, so it doesn't have chicken bouillon in it.
Bouillon in it.
It's just
Yeah,
not
you're
the
just hosed because the whole
just not the
nostalgia is
same.
a shitty can of cream of mushroom Campbell's soup, a
almost
stovetop
almost
stuffing,
expired top topping.
yeah, and a poor person's
Chicken.
butterball turkey.
Yeah, I know.
It was the best stuff growing up, though.
But
know,
I would fight a raccoon for those two dishes.
Yep, I'm with you.
Chris,
Raccoon's dead.
what would you fight a raccoon for?
I would fight a raccoon for Domino's. They don't have it anymore. It's off their menu, but when they had it, it would be their spicy Honolulu pizza. Oh, They put like sriracha on their Honolulu pizza. It is the bomb.
So pineapple, Canadian bacon, and sriracha sauce.
No, it's got red peppers, bacon bits on it. Like it's different than just your typical
It's their
Hawaiian.
like loaded Hawaiian with hot sauce.
With sriracha sauce on it.
It sounds good, but like I put sriracha sauce on all my pizzas. So.
I know, right?
Frank's Red Hot.
I ran out of sriracha, so I've been downgraded to Cholula. And it's just not the same.
No, definitely. There's an extra bottle upstairs.
Well, my choices are ketchup, my sriracha, which is now gone, so I got Cholula, or my husband's hot sauce, which is
Burn your mouth off.
Shit fire for a month.
shoot a rocket out your butt hot. Yeah,
As you're going poop, you start looking off.
pretty much. I don't.
I'm sweating, but not out of my face.
Pretty much. It's bad enough that like we warn my child all the time, don't touch the bottle.
Or trust the fart.
Yeah, if you've eaten that hot sauce, you really shouldn't be trusting that fart.
All right,
Okay.
let's carry on. Werewolves.
So today we're going to let Pam carry the conversation. So Pam, take it away.
Before werewolves were horror villains, they were sacred. In early human culture, wolves weren't symbols of evil. They were protectors, teachers, hunters, and guides between the worlds. In ancient Indo-European societies, warriors believed that they could channel animal spirits in battle. Some wore wolf pelts, some entered trance-like states.
And those were like the Viking warriors.
Those are the berserkers.
berserkers. Yeah.
The transformation wasn't a curse, it was a power. The idea wasn't a man becomes a monster, it was man becomes more than human. So in Norse tradition, there were the Ulfarhednar wolf warriors. They were described as howling before battle, immune to pain, and violent beyond reason. To enemies, they looked possessed. To their own people, they were terrified. They were terrifying, but respected. This is one of the earliest versions of the werewolf idea. A person crossing the line and not fully coming back. When society stopped glorifying that behavior, the story changed.
Yeah.
So how exactly did we glorify that behavior? It says that they seem to be terrified of their own warriors. So
the glorification of that behavior comes from we are a culture who goes, conquers, brings back resources and people to our own civilization, and we assimilate them into us, thus growing our culture and civilization, right?
right.
So without these berserker warriors, we can't accomplish what we set out to do. We can't go into other areas and cultures, conquer, bring what they have, what's better from them, back into our own culture and assimilate it and grow. Right? So that's where that becomes we fear you because we need you. Does that make sense?
Right.
Part of it too is you're also looking at like when you're moving in time too of you've got cultures that are also adopting like these animal-like behaviors. So you have like the barbarians in Central Europe. You have like the Celts. That's part of the stories. When the Romans are coming, that they are terrified of these individuals because they've got these animal-like qualities. So they are holding off the Roman Empire.
Right.
Where you hear about the battle cries. What's more scary to go into battle? Hearing someone scream running towards you, or nothing at all?
It's not just screaming.
It's howl.
It's a howl.
It's a primordial howl.
Yeah.
Right? So they're digging up from the depths the most primordial scream, howl, yell they can. And it cripples the competition, right?
Because they found that it's psychological warfare. You're terrified of someone running at you. I'd be terrified of someone running at me.
I'd be terrified of somebody who was dressed up like a wolf, who I may have perceived as a wolf.
Well,
running at me.
also depending on where you're at, like, so if you're looking at like your barbarians in Central Europe, there's nice, dense forest, so you may be getting that trick of light and seeing or thinking that you're seeing a wolf pack coming at you.
Yeah, that's what the wolf pelts is that they're wearing, is that they think it's wolves coming at you.
Well, it takes me back to the movie The 13th Warrior.
Yeah.
I hate to do it, but
I know.
like the Death Eaters, they are men who are bears, who are wolves, who like devour the dead, right? No, it's men who dress up like bears or wolves and go into battle and then do atrocities to perpetuate the myth, right? What says this isn't it?
Okay. So as we get Christianity spreading across Europe, older nature-based beliefs were reframed. Animals tied to wilderness became symbols of sin, chaos, temptation. Wolves lived outside villages. They hunted at night. They killed livestock. They eat little girls in red coats.
And grandmothers.
No, not the Red Riding Hood. She defeats them by stones.
No.
Not in
She
the
gets eaten first.
The woodsman defeats him, cuts him open, and the grandma and the little girl come out.
And they fill with stones.
So transformation into a wolf stopped meaning strength. It now meant punishment. If you broke a sacred rule, if you sinned badly enough, if you crossed the wrong boundary.
Those Christians ruin everything.
It's not just the Christians.
You didn't become powerful, you became less than human. By the 1400s to about the 1600s, so we're looking medieval Europe, experienced actual werewolf panics. People weren't just afraid of werewolves, they were accusing their neighbors of being them. Trials occurred across France, Germany, Switzerland, and Eastern Europe. People confessed, often under torture too, wearing enchanted wolf skins, killing livestock, murdering children while transformed. Werewolves weren't campfire stories. They were legal accusations. Do you have something there?
Mm-hmm.
And say, when you're looking there, you also have plague outbreaks going on. You've got a lot of uncertainty and strife going on 14 to 1600s in Europe.
I was waiting until you got down a little bit further before I was going to interject.
You're good.
See, one thing I found in the European and Greece is that they found people were consuming werewolf flesh and human flesh, and that's how they became werewolves. I found that in some research, and that was in like the 425 BC.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned that it's under torture. Do they?
Well, that's when we're looking at werewolf hunts. You also have a huge flare up of witch hunts that are going on in this time too. And most of your individuals who confess to being witches, it's under torture.
Yeah,
That's what most of this, like, supernatural stuff is. Like, we're going to torture you until you say you're the thing we want you to be saying you are.
And then we're gonna kill you.
And then we're going to kill you anyways. Like, because your thing you said we said you were to the thing that you are to the said that is. Like, it's a circular game of non-logical bullshit. Right?
Said to the is.
Pretty much.
Is to the R that is what it was when the where we and the who what is in 12.
it's almost like
And
it's almost like what can float? A log? No, a very small
rocks.
bubble.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my point.
When settlers crossed the Atlantic, they brought that fear with them. Even as superstition faded, doctors documented cases of clinical lycanthropy. Patients believed their bodies were changing, they were becoming animals, they were losing control. Symptoms included paranoia, disassociation, violent impulses. Which raises an uncomfortable question. What happens when folklore, trauma, and isolation mix together?
Paranoid schizophrenics.
Spicy brains. But it goes far beyond that. Like, Epic of Gilgamesh is when the first, like, quote unquote, werewolf shows up. Man turned to wolf, punishment.
Yes.
Right?
We're looking at ancient Greece. It's the same when that's where you get the word lycanthropy. Zeus
Right.
gets mad and turns him into a wolf.
So, is it I'm crazy, I'm aggressive, I'm going to bite your arm, I'm going to blame it on lycanthropy because I'm not quite as crazy as I think I am, and I'm a little bit smarter than you think I am also.
Could be.
Could be.
I don't know.
Or someone was really bored and wanted to bite someone else and blamed it on that.
Sounds like something you'd do.
I mean,
Probably.
whenever,
It is something he
when
would
I
do.
was a small child, I bit things. I was a biter. Like,
Wasn't
there's-
just things.
small
It was
child?
people.
it was everything I could put my
He
teeth
was,
into.
he was worse as a small child.
I was a piranha.
Was he from the Amazon?
No, but like, I think during strong fits of upsetness or psychological distress, a natural instinct is to bite.
It is to bite. One of your number one things they look for with mothers with who postpartum depression and abuse in children is bite marks.
It's interesting.
They are more likely to bite their child than to do something else.
Yep. Especially like when affection turns to frustration, turns to abuse. I kiss you affectionately. I'm frustrated with you. I now am going to kiss you, but my frustration gets the better of me and I bite. It's natural instinct. Look at how, to take it back to the canine world, look at how a mother dog corrects or resets her child dog.
Nips and bites.
They nip, they bite, they grab and bite and drag by the back of the neck. That's how they do it. That's how they correct behavior. I don't know. It's interesting.
America didn't have medieval villages. It had endless forests, massive predators, isolated homestead, indigenous shapeshifter traditions. European werewolf lore blended with native spiritual beliefs, frontier survival stories, and real animal threats. So the creature changed.
This is where I think we start splitting hairs between werewolf and skinwalker.
And I think there are some, like our last one, there's that line. America didn't always call it a werewolf. It called it a wolfman, a dogman, something that walks wrong. Before extermination campaigns, wolves were everywhere in the United States. They were blamed for livestock deaths, missing pets, and sometimes missing children. So when someone said it stood up, that crossed the line. Animals weren't supposed to do that. By the 20th century, wolves were disappearing, but wolf-like humanoid sightings increased.
So this could also fall into another camp of the cryptid area. Do we feel like werewolves and chupacabra fall into the same camp?
I don't, because your reports of your chupacabra, although they're have canine-like aspects, they do different things.
Oh, so a werewolf is someone that is human that turns into a wolf, and a chupacabra is just that canine type creature.
This reminds me of the mimics. They will mimic animals and can mimic humans. It could be a mimic.
Wow, we just crossed the whole board. No, just had to ask the question: Do we feel like? Because I feel like we're getting to the area of skinwalkers,
Yes.
which is man transforming into beast.
Yeah, but that's an elected transformation. That's someone who
Chooses.
is choosing.
But they also
Then
have
there's a
crossed,
cursed,
they have
which
also
is-
crossed the line.
Right.
Right,
But
right.
then there's the cursed, which is the European version of the
Yes.
vampire. You
Werewolf.
have no choice.
Werewolf.
Yeah, werewolf. You have no choice. The full moon comes out, you are going to change. Whereas in the North American wolf men are, I choose in time of need to change from man to beast. And then I would throw the chupacabra. It's just a confused little bastard in the middle, right?
But if you're also looking at like we're gonna chupacabra, if you're looking at like the ways in which things die around them, chupacabra like eats your inside, whereas werewolf attacks like a wolf and rips you apart.
Right. Fair. Fair.
And that's why I brought up the mimics, because they do the same thing. They rip people apart. It could be transforming into a werewolf and then transforming into a human and then doing its mimicky things.
Mimicking things.
Well, I
Doing
think
D&D campaigns,
think
who knows?
Just don't whistle.
I think part of the argument for werewolves is you have the original werewolves who are men that take in the nature of the wolf. They don't really transform; they just take in the nature of the wolf, and that goes also to early South American traditions with the jaguar. They're taking in the nature of the beast rather than transforming into the beast.
But original goes back to the curse, where a higher entity says, you are now being punished, I am turning you into a wolf. Right? That's where we originate. Epic of Gilgamesh is like the beginning of...
That's Mesopotamia.
Yeah, that's the beginning of recorded history. The beginning of recorded history. Right? So, I don't know. It's really interesting.
So looking at sightings, Michigan has the Michigan Dogman. Spanning decades, people have described seeing a wolf-headed creature that walks upright and has human intelligence. Wisconsin has stories of the beast of Bray Road. These stories show up about late 1900s, the 80s and 90s.
The cocaine era.
There are multiple witnesses, and they all have the same description. There's something tall, hairy, bipedal, and it's feeding on roadkill.
That's just Mark.
Oh, I was going to say, it sounds like my ex.
You broke me.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Okay. Nope, I'm done. Carry on.
In Converse, Texas, there are stories of a werewolf. Local lore for the Converse werewolf. Wow, thought I had a speech impediment for a second, right?
Okay, we'll just call you Mike.
Fair.
It's a regional legend centered around modern-day Converse in Bexar County, Texas. According to the traditional legend, a rancher in the 1800s sent his reluctant son into the woods near an area called Skull's Crossing to hunt, hoping to encourage him into manhood. The boy claimed he saw a wolf-like creature in the woods. When the father forced him back out, the boy never returned. A search party reportedly found the boy's body being eaten by a beast described as a half-man, half-wolf, standing about 8 to 9 feet tall, covered in dark fur. The father and neighbors fired at the creature, but it fled. Some versions of the tale hold that the grief-stricken father soon died or became a recluse afterwards. The story has persisted in local folklore into the 20th and 21st centuries, often mentioned in collections of San Antonio urban legends and regional haunted lore lists. Louisiana has the loup-garou. It's a
Loup-garou.
Loup-garou. I thought there was a loop-garou.
Rougarou.
The Rougarou.
Rougarou.
Oh.
O-U is
Also,
O-O.
I would like to go back to the Texas thing.
Okay.
So we have this creature that stands 8 or 9 feet tall. Is it a black bear?
Does Texas get black bears?
Texas has black bears.
Are they?
Is it in that region?
Are they? Because it's
Eastern Texas.
San Antonio.
They go from New Mexico to Guadalupe. I would say yes. There are black bears in that region.
Possible. And so I just saw something too, like maybe not a werewolf, but a Sasquatch.
Sam Squinch?
But I also just saw. I need to go back and look.
Sam Squanch is more north towards the Canadian.
Oh.
Thanks, Bubbles. In 1950s, the population of black bear was very heavy down towards that area, according to what I'm reading here.
According to the Googles.
Yes, the Googles.
And say, I just saw an article. I need to do some more digging, but it gave a correlation between like high black bear.
San Antonio's
Antonio's
like right here.
Yeah.
So
So
yes.
possibly, but like a correlation between high black bear populations and Sasquatch sightings.
See, but
And I think that's interesting that like just hearing that, I need to do some more digging on that one. I can tell you I just looked at the article, read a little bit, and went, ooh, I'm going to read this later. But you bringing up black bears is what brought it up. But also interesting that they went for a werewolf rather than a Sasquatch.
But here's the thing. I've had my Sasquatch experience.
Yeah.
I've shot a black bear with a bow. Two very, 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 very different experiences. Bears make different noises through the wood than the Sam Squanch does.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So
I would say bears also make different noises than a wolf.
Yes, you can't hear wolves. Bears are clumsy. They're big, they're clumsy, they have big paws, they break shit constantly. Wolves are like the sneaky dog who gets into your kitchen and eats the shit off the counter, and you're like, what the hell, you son of a bitch?
May or may not be a personal experience.
Definitely, I have wolfhounds.
you can also look at it like there are rumors of werewolves going on, you know, and you come up and you see this big hairy beast, and you know I've never seen a bear before. What if it's the first time you've seen a bear? And it's like there's no pictures of bears in 1890.
I agree. I would agree with that statement. You
Okay.
don't know. Interesting. Just interesting.
So there are sightings in that area of Sam Squinches around that time. Sorry. I know what Sasquatch is.
Come on, brah.
I just looked it up. I was curious.
I know you were.
They did stand between 7 to 10 feet tall, too.
Okay, the Louisiana Rougarou.
This one I'm leaving a little vague because I think it would be interesting to do a fuller story on this one.
Oh,
so.
I fully want to do
Yeah.
a Rougarou story.
So the Rougarou is a Cajun variation of the werewolf. Not just a monster, but a moral enforcer. You break the rules, disrespect tradition, wander too far, and something finds you.
See, it's so different than the traditional werewolf.
Yeah.
The werewolves are driven by compulsion. The Rougarou is driven by...
You breaking the rules.
by...
So these aren't medieval stories, these are modern. Cars, highways, streetlights. And still, it appears. Now let's talk about Utah. The Uinta Basin.
Oh, the great Uinta Basin.
There's
Lots of things
so
happen
much.
there.
The Uinta Basin is vast, isolated, and quiet in a way that feels heavy. It's known for UFO sightings, cattle mutilations, aggressive cryptid encounters. And among them is something witnesses consistently describe as 7 to 9 feet tall, covered in dark hair, has a wolf head, able to move on 2 and 4 legs, and not afraid of people.
I'm sorry, when you say wolf head, I just picture that scene from Lord of the Rings. Bring out the wolf's head.
That's fine.
Nerd.
I just watched those. Oh, by the way, I'm back. I'm not watching Lord of the Rings this weekend.
Yeah, we know.
Oh.
It's fine.
This isn't a Bigfoot. This thing doesn't avoid you. Most Uinta Basin encounters come from ranchers. People who know predators, they carry guns, and they usually don't panic. Because they're in the middle of freaking nowhere. Witnesses describe firing at the creature, watching it get hit, and seeing it keep moving. In several accounts, it stands upright, looks at them, and walks away.
I mean,
Not running, walking.
that's interesting because when we discussed the ranch,
Skinwalkers.
Skinwalker Ranch. That was one of the main stories that they tell, is that they fire at things all the time. They get hit and they walk away.
Like, where's Skinwalker Ranch?
Uinta
With the
Basin.
basin.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's why I brought it up, Mark.
We weren't privy to that episode.
That was our very
this is-
first
that's the
episode.
first-
I, I wasn't there.
This
I
is
wasn't
the
there either.
original
I don't
two.
even know if I listened to it yet.
That's okay.
This
It's
is
going to be
the
redone.
original two.
Way to go deep on your first episode.
Hey,
It wasn't,
Tools.
it wasn't that deep.
Hence the tool.
We have you now. We can redo it.
Yes, ma'am.
that reaction is what convinces many this isn't an animal. Unlike many cryptid encounters, this creature approaches homes, circles vehicles, follows people, stands in headlights without fear. Dogs refuse to go outside, livestock panics, and the air feels wrong. People don't joke about it, they warn. The Uinta Basin overlaps the indigenous land and belief system. In Navajo tradition, skinwalkers are not cryptids. They are taboo spiritual entities. Many locals avoid naming the creature at all, because in this region, naming something invites it. So instead, people say that thing or something out there. You don't want to see it twice.
Which is really interesting. For years, I never put a name on my experience while we were elk hunting. I never did.
Names have power.
It wasn't until we did the episode where I was like, I'm pretty sure it's a freaking Bigfoot, that I actually put a name on something. But it's in that same region. I think the area where we saw or had our quote-unquote Bigfoot experience is maybe 20 miles from Skinwalker Ranch. That's close.
That's close.
So, like, I feel like this is a thing. And I think that's why sometimes as a group we have a hard time saying believe or don't believe or putting a name on something with the things we're reading about, is because that's a tradition here. We just don't name it.
Names have power.
Yeah. It's that thing. You know? There was something out there. Mimic. Something was whistling in the dark. I don't know what it was.
I heard my name. Don't know what that was.
Don't know what
but
that was.
Definitely heard my name.
No, but it's that statement is powerful, and I never thought about it until you made that statement just this moment.
Werewolves survive because they represent something timeless. The fear of losing control, the fear of what people do when unobserved, the fear that civilization is thinner than we think. And places like the Uinta Basin remind us, some land remembers old rules. Werewolves aren't just medieval monsters, they're survival stories, they're warnings. They're the reason people lock their doors even when they don't know why. Whether the Uinta Basin creature is a cryptid, spiritual entity, or something science hasn't named yet, one thing is clear: it doesn't want to be seen. And it doesn't want you wandering at night.
Nothing wants you wandering at night.
Wow. I like that. I like that ending. Like, I hadn't read the ending. I liked it.
Yeah.
That's good.
So where do we stand on werewolves? Not skinwalkers, not chupacabras, but werewolves.
This idea that it's a maybe crossing a line and tapping into something animalistic, primordial in a human, I think I can see that. Straight up cursed because of God didn't like what you did. No.
Okay, I can definitely see the, taking in the spirit of an animal and releasing that onto, whatever. But turning into an actual wolf and, growing 9 feet tall, I have a hard time believing that.
Same with Pam. Kind of, just it's us trying to become primal and be the biggest, baddest dog out there. That's what I think it is. Is it? And I don't, like you said, curses. I don't think it's a real thing. I just think it's our human instinct trying to take over, trying to survive in situations.
But you got to ask the question. So great. It's us becoming the primal beast, but there's no actual physical transformation, right?
Right.
Where did the legends come from?
See, I don't think you're fully transforming into a wolf. Like you're looking at ancient, or not ancient, if you're looking at like Central European myth, right? It's a person who's turning into a full wolf. I do think that when you tap into that animalistic part of human, there is a change that happens. You lose characteristics of people.
So
Look at if we look at your feral children stories from that famous one from France in the 70s. She looks like an animal. She looks more animal-like than people-like. Right. I think when you disconnect from humanity and you tap into something else, you do lose aspects of being a human.
And then I think it can be heavily influenced by people like the berserkers, who are putting on wolf pelts, who are tapping into their
and
animalistic
I think to do
instinct.
things that they were doing, you were losing humanity.
But if we go to traditional werewolf lure, it's only during the full moon. So I'm a normal person 90% of the time. The moon changes, all of a sudden I'm not a normal person. I'm an animal who just wants to tear the throats out of every human I see. Right? I think we lost sight of the traditional werewolf in these stories, which is fine. I love the direction we went with this whole thing. Fantastic. It touched all the things. But if we come back to the traditional werewolf,
I think there are some mental health things that we have since we society have talked about and looked at that I think could be explained for this one in a cycle, whatever that cycle is, whether it's a moon cycle or whatever. Somebody goes from being a normal, happy person to something else.
I mean, you have the idea that if you're a cop, the worst nights of the month are the full moon nights because it just acts out.
I don't think that's a thought. That is
it's a thing.
It is a freaking thing.
So
talk to your sister-in-law who's a nurse.
No, I agree.
I dated a cop for years, and she was like, I hate the full moons because she got stabbed in the freaking chest by a crazy dude. She was pulling off of Parley's Canyon. Some homeless dude on a full moon night.
I worked at a treatment center that's considered bougie of the treatment centers, and shit be real on a full moon.
And so there's definitely stuff that happens on a full moon.
Little kids, they act up, they act worse on full moons too.
So
things happen with full moons.
Definitely stuff that's happening with full moons.
I think there's
and that's just human nature.
But I also think there's some the cyclical cycle thing. If we look at bipolar, it is whether it is or not, depending on where you are on that bipolar spectrum, you can go from a normal person to looking like a tweaking lunatic.
Right. I mean,
in that drop.
I totally get it.
I know.
I worked at the developmental center for years. They would go from normal, all of a sudden, they're tearing each other to pieces and fighting and throwing couches, and I'm getting punched in the face.
And then you realize it's a full moon.
The nose. Right. So I get that. But where does the transformation into a dog or a wolf come into play? Is it a combination of
I think it's
the warrior aspect, the full moon, all of the pieces, all the sums?
I think it's all the sums coming together because, when we're looking at American werewolf legend and lore, it's doing what America has done since the founding and taking everything and melting it together into its own something.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you've got so many people come from all over the place. If we're looking at settlement patterns, you've got, depending on where they are in Appalachia, it's your Scotch Irish. You've got huge German influence as well on that Appalachia that are then going to be your first fronts moving into more frontier Midwest when we're looking at 1800s. So I
Right.
think it's just,
No, I hear you.
I think it's America doing what America does, and is that melting pot, and it's stirring it all up.
So, back to Mike's original question. I'm going to say I'm not a overwhelming believer, but that doesn't mean I don't carry my silver bullet with my gun.
And that's fair. I mean,
My 357 has a silver bullet that's always in the second chamber. I'm sorry.
I think part of the thing that gives it power is the belief, and if you believe well enough to carry a silver bullet, then it has power.
Of course it has power, but I'm also I'm a believer in things, so
Right.
If I had a 357, I'd have a silver bullet.
why not? It's going to kill the same.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Cryptid Hauntings. If you enjoyed it, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Cryptid Hauntings. And if you have an encounter of your own that you've never told, you can email us at cryptidhauntings@gmail.com for future listener episodes. Until next time, spook you later.